Hello, everyone. I know I have come after a long time due to some busy schedule and some other commitments, but now I am all set to help you once again as your exams are at hand. The date sheets have been declared by ICSE, ISC, and even CBSE. And in today's video, I am going to talk to you about a very important topic. So I have come to know so many students who want me to make a video on this, and that's why I am here. So I'm going to talk to you about Precis Writing. Yes, Precis Writing, Precis. S is silent here. All right. Children are often confused and they pronounce it in different ways. So it is Precis Writing. Now, Precis, which is also known as summary, which is also known as the gist, it is a part of your question which is for comprehension. All right, you are given an unseen passage, and based on that unseen passage you are supposed to answer three types of questions. First type is always vocabulary thing. Second type is like understanding of the passage. Based on the understanding of the passage, you are supposed to answer the questions. And then the last question is about the Precis, and it is an important part of comprehension passage. And in ICSE, that is class 10, the Precis is for 8 marks and you have to write it in 50 words. While in ISC, that is class 12, the Precis is for 6 marks and you have to write it in 100 words. So here in this video, I am going to talk to you about both kinds of Precis. Why am I taking them simultaneously? Because of course, those who are in class 10, they'll be able to understand. And those who are in 12th, they have already done the Precis in class 10, but they need to understand the difference. All right. So that's why I'm taking this topic commonly for both the classes. So as the topic says, it is Precis writing. All right, please understand Precis, which I told you is the summary, or you may also call the gist. So you have to precise. Now, one thing that you need to understand, it is like any other question which you get for your understanding of the passage. You are not supposed to summarize or you are not supposed to precise the whole passage. It is just one question, like 2 markers or 1 marker that you get. In class 12, you get all 2 markers, right? In class 10, there are 2 markers and one question is for 1 mark, which is just a one-liner. So like those questions only, this is also has to be taken as one of the questions. Okay. So you are not supposed to precise the whole passage. So the first and foremost thing that you should do, read the question and try to identify the paragraph in the passage which you have to use to write the Precis. All right, identify the paragraph in the passage. Now, when we say identify the paragraph in the passage, what does it mean? It means that you just have to locate the lines or the paragraph where the answer of that question lies. All right. Once you have done that, after that, you please read it and see how many words. Of course, it is going to be so, like if you have to write 50 words Precis, so it can be 150 words also, which you need to precise in 50 words. It can be 100 words also, which you need to summarize in 50 words. But now you are not supposed to focus on that. What you have to focus upon is the points. Take it like any literature answer. For literature, what are you said? If it is a 3 marks question, there have to be 3 points. If it is a 4 marks question, there have to be 4 points. Now in class 10, please understand, class 10, it is 8 marks question. So there have to be 8 points, as simple as that. So please identify those 8 points, identify those 8 keywords, all right, which should be there in that answer. The way you answer your literature questions, in that way only you have to answer this question also. But there has been given a word limit like 50 words. Okay, now, but it is just because it is for 8 marks, so it means that it should have 8 points compulsorily. Okay, so please identify those 8 points. Identify those 8 words. Then do not lift the sentences exactly from the passage. Try to mold them in your own language, but make it compulsory that those 8 words or those 8 points that you have identified should be accommodated in that answer. All right, those should be accommodated. Now, a very common error which is seen, that sometimes, children, they omit articles. They feel that this way we'll be able to save this space. No, you cannot omit any article. You are not even supposed to omit punctuation marks, though you are not supposed to give separate that square that you make. So for that, what are you supposed to do? You have to form a grid. Okay, and I always advise my children that they should form 2 grids simultaneously. It's better you draw the lines with pencil. So for that, if you have to write 50 marks like in class 10, so it can always be 5 columns. All right, and rows are already there in your answer script. So take 10 rows. You first count 10 rows like this, 8, 9, 10, and here you make 5 columns. So it is, of course, it is like, actually my this stylus is not charged properly, I believe. That's why it's not able to write, and my handwriting is being so pathetic here. But please don't mind that. I hope you are able to understand what I am trying to tell you. So form the grid like this. Okay, rows are already there. You just mark them 1, 2, 3, 4 till 10 and make 5 columns. Now for class 12, because you have to write 100 words, Pressy. So please form 10 columns. Okay, 10 rows, 10 columns. If you see that your handwriting is too big, like the size of font that you write is big, then you can make 5 columns. In that case, you may take 20 rows. Okay, so even if it covers half of your script, it doesn't matter, right? Take 20 rows and 5 columns. Nobody is going to see that. No, nobody is going to judge how many columns and how many rows you have. We do it for our own convenience, so that we again and again, we are not supposed to count the words. We just have to fill the grid. So please take it as compulsory, take it as mandatory to make the grid. It really helps. All right. Now for class 10, as I told you, your Pressy is for 8 marks. So it has to have 8 points. But for class 12, specifically for class 12, the Pressy is for 6 marks. All right. It is for 6 marks. And how many words you have to write? 100 words. But please see how these 6 marks are divided. Here you have 4 marks for the content, means the points that you give, and 2 marks are there for linguistic ability. Linguistic ability is your expression. Now I'll tell you how these are done. But in class 12 also, for these 4 marks, you have to give 8 points. So whether you are in class 10 or you are in class 12, please understand, number of points that you have to give in Pressy is 8 only. Okay, in class 10, 1 point is for 1 mark. In class 12, 1 point is for half mark. So points have to be 8, number 1. Another thing, in class 10, we do not have marks for linguistic ability, but for class 12, they have specifically given marks for linguistic ability. So all the errors or mistakes that you make while drafting this Pressy, whether they are punctuation errors, whether they are spelling errors, whether they are grammatical errors, all those errors are counted. Okay, they are counted, and based on the number of mistakes that you make, you are given marks in linguistic ability. So if you make a lot of errors, you will not get 2 marks. All right, so that's why I am saying that you are not supposed to omit any punctuation mark. At the same time, you are also not supposed to make any grammatical error. All right, and don't lift the sentences exactly from the passage, because then you are not able to do justice with the Pressy. See, it has to be in correct language. All right, so now I hope you have understood 2 things, how many points you have to write. Okay, so when you answer this question, when you plan the answer of this question, when you try to identify the points, just keep it in your mind that you have to give 8 points, minimum 8 points. See, last year we got this comprehension passage, and let me show you here. You are getting the comments of examiners as well as suggestion for teachers. So now this comments of examiners, the examiners who corrected the scripts, they got this. Now right now I am just going to focus on this part of which is there regarding the Prezi. All right, so as you can see, not more than 50 words, describe the effects of the lost bell. This is what the question says. I'm talking about ICSE class 10 here. So in ICSE class 10, you get the Prezi where you have to write it in 50 words only, and it is for 8 marks. Now here see what were the comments of the examiner. Several candidates did not keep the word limit. They used more than 50 words to write the Prezi, which is absolutely wrong. You will get marks reduction for that. Many candidates left out articles to reduce the word count, which is wrong. Some wrote the summary of the entire passage or part of the passage. Grids were often not drawn and rough summaries not made. So it means that you need to draw 2 grids. One is for rough, another one as fair. Okay, because rough summary is equally important. Don't skip it, please. Long-winded phrases, word count was not given. Long-winded phrases and sentences were used where shorter, more precise wording would have been more effective. Some candidates were able to identify and write only 2-3 points. Chronological order was not followed. Some marks were lost for expression. Candidates focused more on use of the morning bell. So this point you'll be able to understand once you read the passage. What I want you to understand is that first of all, you have to make 2 grids. One is the rough one, another one is for the fair one. Rough one you can fill with pencil so that even if you cut anything, overwrite anything, it doesn't make any difference. But please make sure that the points that you accommodate in your Prezi, there have to be at least 8 points. Those 8 points should be written in correct language. You have to use correct grammar, you have to use correct punctuation, you have to make use of correct capital letters, and everything should be fine. All right, so how can you do it? Let me tell you a trick. You can look for words or ideas that stand out. Like there can be naming words, though means nouns. There can be some adjectives, there can be some verbs, doing words which stand out. Like these are the words around which the ideas have been built. So you need to accommodate those words in your Prezi. All right, I hope it is clear. So now let's come to class 12 Prezi. Now here, the question for Prezi was, as you can see, I hope you are able to see this, summarize how the narrator became the global celebrity. Paragraphs 4 to 11. In the question, it is given your target, the location of your answer. You are required to write the summary in the form of a connected passage in about 100 words. Though it is written in the form of connected passage, so what you can do, you can form the grid, do it, and then you can write it in the form of connected passage. And if you want, you can make 2 grids also, the way we were doing for class 10. Okay, that also, it doesn't make any difference. Now please understand, candidates, see what are the mistakes. As I told you, 4 plus 2, so 4 marks means not 4 points here, 8 points. Points have to be the same. The way you were giving 8 points in class 10, 8 points only are supposed to be given in class 12 also. 1 point is for half mark. Okay. Now, see, for this question, candidates were required to write the answers in a grid. Despite the question stating paragraphs 4 to 11, many candidates wrote points from the entire passage, which were irrelevant. Many candidates failed to write in the grid format. A few candidates did write the Prezi in the grid, went over the word limit. So you are not supposed to go over the word limit. You have to stick to the word limit, and the best way to stick to the word limit is that you form the grid. All right. So in a minimum of 8 points are required. And as far as the linguistic ability is concerned, beta, I told you very clearly, that the number of mistakes that you make, on the basis of that, you are given the marks of linguistic ability. So try to make short and simple sentences, but error proof. Just make sure that there are no errors in that. I hope it is clear. This question you are able to do so well if you practice a lot. Okay, so solve last year's papers, do the Prezi from there. If you still have any doubts, you can write it in the comment box and I will definitely help you out. Bye bye for now. Thank you.